Welcome back to the channel, and today my review for this new CIVIVI chef's knife, kitchen knife called Cibus. So I'll talk about the good and what I was expecting for this knife, and I will criticize this knife in the second part of this video a lot because I think the design of this knife is wrong and it's not performing the way it should be. Execution, of course, from CIVIVI is really good. Good quality of materials, as I said, good quality of just manufacturing the knife, but it's unusable for me, and most likely I will send it back. So, first of all, a lot of things going on the table. I was working on a video about this knife, which I recently got from CIVIVI. It's, again, another collaboration between the designer and the CIVIVI. This one is GTC design. This one is a stop hell design, which is on here. And I like it because we get a cool looking knives executed really well for affordable price. And I know CIVIVI has a lot of that experience doing this for the folding knives like this, or like this, or like this, or like I don't know who designed this knife, but it's absolutely perfect pocket knife. Don't mind this color scheme. So there's a lot of I have a lot of CIVIVI knives, and they are usually very good and very good value for the money, good materials, good execution. So that's why I am disappointed. I am disappointed with the kitchen knife, because I really love kitchen knives. I would love to have CIVIVI produced knife in my kitchen. I don't have a big V knives, chef knife or whatever what it was. I have a small Yakula knife from V, more like a paring knife. But with this one, I really wanted this. I pre-ordered that as soon as I had a chance to do that, and I am disappointed. So also, if you're watching this video, I'm really asking you, please pay attention to what I'm saying, because those design mistakes, if you see similar ones in another knives, you will be able to identify them when you're choosing the knives, and maybe avoid buying the knives which you don't want. Probably I shouldn't even bought this knife, because right when I look at this one on the picture, I see that it's not tall enough, it's not wide enough. So I have a very limited area here for my fingers between the cutting board. So that's probably should have stopped me from buying this one, but I decided to take a look and see what's going on, and there's a lot of other things which are not good about this knife, and I'll, of course, point them out for you. So, first of all, how it comes. It comes in a nice box, a magnetic closing. It comes in this plastic sleeve with a little bit of a tip protector, heel protector. So it's pretty nice, good, works. You can even have it as a gift in this box, that's fine. But one of the problems is that they don't put kitchen knife specific warranty and product information. It's all about folding knives, and it doesn't tell to a regular person, let's say, is it dishwasher safe or not. I wish they would just say explicitly, don't put it in dishwasher, wash it by hand. But for materials, for G10 and 14C Sandvik steel, it should withstand dishwasher. Some people still do it. I don't recommend doing this. You're ruining your knife. But it should be very clear, is it dishwasher safe or not? It is not NSF certified, but that's fine. Probably people who are specific audience for this knife are not less care about NSF certification, but that's fine. So this is about the box. Price wise, this knife is marketed at around $89 MSRP, which puts him into the category of competing with Missens, Maidens, and a lot of Kanshans. So it is where you can expect a very good materials, very good execution, very good quality, very good performance from a kitchen knife made in China, Yeah, why not? Even some entry-level Japanese knives are in that price category, under $100. Usually good Japanese, good German knives are way higher. So this is a very competitive category, and of course, when you choose, you will be looking at the, as I said, what kind of construction is it? Full tank? Is it forged? Is it good steel, modern steel, good handle, modern handle? And here with this knife, it is, as you can see, of course, it's a full tank construction. It is not forged. It's just glued G10. G10 is a good material over Sandvik steel, very good steel. Highly corrosion resistance, good edge retention, good toughness. So on paper, everything is great. In reality, so we're getting there. Now what I should say, of course, I bought it with a coupon when I was pre-ordering, something like 15% off. And of course, I recommend you, if you can find those coupons, use them when you're buying knives. But for this specific one, I'm not stressing this because honestly, I do not recommend you getting this knife. It has a lot of issues. Look somewhere else, and I'll tell you down the end of the video what I think is a good options, which I pretty much outlined already. Anyway, so execution quality, very nice. Everything is straight, no burrs, no problems with grind, no problems with I don't know, something not fitted. No curves. Edge is created almost like, that's why I'm saying almost. Edge is created perfectly. One of the best out-of-the-box edges for the kitchen knives which I've ever seen. First of all, it is absolutely straight. There's no wobbling. There's no difference in the width on both sides. Very symmetrical. Tip is created very, very symmetrical. No issues with the tip. Absolutely perfect tip. If probably you can see it through reflections. A very, very high grit ceramic or whatever was used, or maybe a little bit of belt polishing. So it's a very, very highly reflective edge, and it's of course absolutely very sharp, shaves the hair of my hand like nothing. So very nice edge from a quality point of view. This is very important from an edge quality point of view. Very interesting and nice transition from a spine of the blade towards the handle. It has a little bit like groove, like a choil. So it's flat behind the choil, and it is rounded and has a little bit of those, I don't know, whatever, swedges, up swedges, whatever you call it, like up front of that choil. So interesting and nice. I like it. So what I don't like about this knife, and give me a moment to take a sip and do this. So, as I said, height of the blade, absolutely not enough. And all of those issues which I will be telling here, they are not because of the execution of the knife, it's because of the design. So pretty much I am criticizing here Mr. Astap Hell for improper design of the kitchen knife. So let's make it straight, because I think the execution is absolutely well. The only thing is, of course, that more experienced, I don't know, kitchen knife makers or other knife makers, they would tell right away, like, for example, why don't you do pins in the handle? Just gluing G10 to the tang of a knife, in my opinion, it's not right, and I'll show you why it's not right also in this video. So yeah, it's not tall enough, and that's the biggest problem of this knife. Not enough clearance. So let's say if this is my chopping board, you'll see it right here. If I do a pinch grip, you'll see right here that my knuckles are right there on the chopping board, and it's not good enough. Second thing, which is also it comes from design and a little bit of execution, is that it is thick behind the edge. It's not thin enough to my taste. So if I measure it with the caliper, I was trying to do it, and I'm kind of getting like something like 0.5 millimeters. 0.5 millimeters behind the edge, and this is it's a little bit thick for a good kitchen knife. It should be something like 0.3, maybe 0.2, and then the knife cuts really well. And I know it's absolutely possible to do it for like a folding knife, for pocket knife, EDC knife. It's not important. So for example, this knife is about the same thickness behind the edge. Again, CIVIVI. This is CIVIVI knife, which I have for many years. It is absolutely thin behind the edge. This knife, CIVIVI, really thin behind the edge, thinner than this one. So I am disappointed from a thickness point of view. With the good sharp edge, I could live with that. Just say, it's a thick behind the edge, and live with this. But second thing which makes it not comfortable to use is the fact that it's not a full flat grind. So basically, when you design things like this, so like a partial flat grind, you're eventually making this angle, which is behind the edge, you're making this angle from being very acute, making it a little bit more. And together with a thick edge, it has more resistance than going through the food. And I did cook with this knife yesterday. I did chop cucumber, carrots, zucchinis, sausage. I feel the difference. Seriously, I feel the difference. And compare it from angle point of view. Compare this one and this one. So this one is Nissan Santoku. Yes, it's a large Santoku. It's one of the tallest knife in my kitchen. But see what kind of difference in height we're getting. Like more than a centimeter difference, right? Yes, the handle is thicker here, but you get the point, right? So, and you see how angle would be different. So we have this much for coming down towards the edge, and we have this much for coming down towards the edge with the flat grind. So the angle of those sides of the knife is almost twice as big as this one. Yes, we're talking like single degrees, but still it's like 2 versus 4 is a difference. You know what I mean? So don't like this about this knife. Now we come to the most interesting part. The design of this area. Oh, yeah, before I forget about it. This swedge, up swedge, useless. Absolutely useless. It's only from a design point of view. I think it is something similar like this. On a pocket knife makes sense. Great, absolutely great, because you will be piercing with this knife something, and you want the tip to go to be still kind of like a little bit strong, more like a dagger style, but more piercing. Here, pretty much useless, and also gives you no way to like smash something on the chopping board with the spine of the blade. This is one of the techniques which I actually use, for example, to smash a garlic for some sauces and dressings and so on for cooking. Here with this rounded and up swedge created spine of the blade, I can't use it. Yes, it is possible, of course, to move the wedges with the spine, but can't use it for cooking. All right, now let's talk about this area. No, let's talk about handle first. I usually like straight handle. In general, I would prefer to have a little bit of a hump, but usually it's good because you don't need much. You just need a positive control over the spine of the handle here with your with this area of your thumb. So when you pinch grip, you feel it what's going on with the knife, and you have those tres amigos. They control the knife, like the angle. They control the position of the knife in the handle. Those fingers. Here it's made so that it's not convenient. So first of all, this checkering on the sides, if I do the pinch grip and hold the knife, this checkering never in touch with my hand. So why is it here? For what? It's not working. Like this checkering, always in touch with my hand. I control the knife. I know, like, of course, a different grip, but still, it works. Here, it's all rounded. I don't even feel those edges of the handle. I don't feel those edges of the handle rounded very, very much, like a lot. So I don't have a good positive control through those edges. Again, for comparison, take a look at the classic kitchen knife from Wuskov. It's rounded, but it's not rounded too much. So I know exactly what's going on. My fingers here control the knife very well. Some other Japanese style knives, yes, they have this type of handle, but those edges, they are more present, and I control the knife better. That's why I'm not a biggest fan of absolutely rounded handles like this, because I have less control. It feels a little bit slippery in the hand, but because it's a little bit more bulky, I have it. But again, usually I would prefer for the handle to be rounded, but not too much rounded, so I know what's going on. Now, as I told you this, let's talk about the grip. So take a closer look at this area and see that the handle goes all the way like above the heel of the blade. And take a look. If I put you any good kitchen knife, like this one, like this one, let's take a classic Wuskov, let's take modern Missen. Where is our pinch grip area? Towards the heel of the blade. It is usually right above the heel of the blade. With Japanese knives, it's usually even more. So I have a pinch grip here, and I have like a more protruding blade. So the point is that pinch grip is where the balance should be. It's where you hold the knife. So you again have very, very good control and maneuver the knife how you want it. Here again, pinch grip, balance point, and so on. With this knife, first of all, the balance point is on the handle. It's a handle heavy knife. You see, the pinch grip moves your fingers so much far away, so it becomes not comfortable to chop with this area. And that's usually my technique. I chop with the knife with this area, all the small tasks. This is what this area is for. Not good. So maybe the designer thinks that I will pinch grip it here. Again, not convenient, because it's just not right. It should be real pinch, not holding the handle like this. So I'm not happy with the balance. I'm not happy with the pinch grip position in this area. And again, on top of this, so this is the important thing which I was referring to, that pinch grip should be comfortable. On top of this, when I do the pinch grip here, because it moves my hand far away, I have to put my finger like this, and I grip it like this, and working with the high resistance of this blade over something. Look at it, what's going on. This specific edge goes into my finger with a very, very big force. And this is one of less chamfered. It's almost, and you see how it's not fully chamfered area of the blade, especially because when they did this grind, they had to stop the grind. And this goes up like this a little bit, goes up on both sides. On this side, it also goes up a little bit. So that area is actually a thickening of the heel of the blade, and it has this rough edge which goes into my index finger on the side. So not good at all. Look at other knives. First of all, there's no, when you look at the heel of the blade from back, it's not thickening here. It's very good. Same thing with those knives. A little bit of the issue with those kind of grinds, because this area goes up. But I don't have that much of the problem here, because usually I have more control, more like a balance on this knife here, and I don't have to grip it too high. With this knife, I have to grip it like really, really strong, and it gives me the problem. You see how it goes into my finger. So again, this is one of the reasons I don't like like a curved bolsters on the fully forged knives. I like them classical style like this, because I don't have issues with this area. I have less issues with this area. So this is a very, very big difference. Some other knives, they have similar problem. Like for example, this knife. I love this knife, don't get me wrong, but it has a very similar issue of the heel. Because of that grind, it has to stop here and go like this. But again, I have a lot of space to go around it, and even the handle here is kind of like angled here. So I have a more comfortable pinch grip on this knife, rather than here on this knife, where again there's just a little bit of a rounding, no specific angles which go down to make my pinch grip more comfortable. So this is the the biggest issue of this knife. And then the second thing, which is kind of derived from this, is that because I have to put it all the way here, because I have to put this finger all the way here, the overall grip of the knife kind of moves the back of the handle, this one, like in here. And if you take a look, so if I have a pinch grip like this, like on pretty much any knife, it goes right into this area of my hand. Look where it goes. Take your own knife and see where it goes. With this knife, because of this, it moves it towards here, so I have more meat here than here, and again I have more like a folding area here, which controls the knife. If I have the knife here, I have less control, I have less feeling through that meat, what's going on with the knife. So it's literally like 5 millimeters here and there, totally different feeling for the handle. Again, this versus this is way, way better. Just take your knife, take a good knife, one which you have, and feel it. Feel where your fingers touching the handle. Is there a groove? Oh, sorry, not a groove. Is there like an edge, ridge? Does it help or not to control the knife better? How do you feel the spine here? So very simple things which we should all know in the industry of making knives. Here it is made not the right way. So let's kind of wrap up. And one final thing about this knife is that I really, really don't like the fact that there's no pins on this handle. So I already told this story about those knives on my channel. This is a made in Portugal ESL. So the way they do a very similar construction, but they do a single piece handle of, I think it's Micarta G10. So there's a groove in that handle, and the full tang knife goes all the way in. They, of course, glue it on very, very nicely. But even with this area holding it better together, they had it. I spoke with the manufacturers. I visited their factory. They decided to make a pin in the handle for all the newer production knives, because it would eventually fall off. Of course, people will put it in a dishwasher with all the heat and moisture in there, gets in there, goes off. Here, as I said earlier, they don't explicitly say don't put it into dishwasher for the kitchen knife. So it will go into dishwasher in many houses. Those handles will fall off. I would say, from my experience, for those type, especially very slim handles with this not that much of a surface of contact, here it's way more. I would say 3 pins, 1, 2, 3, or 2, 1 and 2. That would be a way better construction from a reliability point of view. And to prove my point, I was testing this knife, how well it bends. It is a very light knife. It's not thick at all, which is good. It bends, but when I bend in it, I heard cracks. What's going on? And I'll tell you what's going on. Let's take this piece of paper, which comes with the knife. This one. Let's bend it a little bit. This is what's going on. It's already, the glue is already gone. Just from a simple bending this knife a little bit like this. I promise you, I didn't do a lot of damage to that. I didn't do a lot of force. It just came off. It just came off by itself. You see? This is it. This is the end of the story. So I think there are design mistakes. A lot of design mistakes which led to the knife, which I wouldn't recommend buying. Good ideas, good choice of steel, even the shape of the handle is good. But in my opinion, what did need to be done? Need to be done a little bit taller, full flat grind, which goes all the way up here, then nicer heel of the blade, straight, which doesn't suffer from those edge problems, and then the handle a little bit further out. No upswedge, pins, will be a good knife. Yeah, and make it thinner. Make it a little bit thinner behind the edge. So if CIVIVI would produce this knife version 2 with all of those things corrected, it would be one of the best kitchen knives on the market. I would probably even recommend it. I don't know. Would I be able to recommend it over Missen? Maybe not there yet, because it won't be fully forged, and Missen uses Austen steel, which is a little bit better than this one. But again, with the proper pricing, would be a very, very good knife. So, but at the moment, I'd say stay away from this knife. Get yourself Missen. Maybe get yourself a cheap entry-level Japanese knife, fully forged, with something which may look like this, or may look like a Santoku style. Okay, not Vuskov, different story, but don't go for this knife. And CIVIVI, if you're watching this, Mr. Astapel, if you're watching this, if you're getting this feedback, hope you can see what I'm talking. If you think I'm wrong, if I think it's I don't know, it should be used somewhat differently or something else, let me know in the comments or through email. But so far, I am very disappointed with this knife, and again, I'll try to send it back with all my, of course, feedback to CIVIVI. I'll try to go over feedback on the website. Maybe I'll do some comments here and there on social media. I want it to be heard. I want it to be better. I really like CIVIVI knives. You've seen that I have a lot of them in my collection, and some of them are my daily carry or my fancy carry. I like them a lot, but this knife, unfortunately, wouldn't stay. That's it. Thank you for watching. Let me know, everybody, let me know your thoughts. Am I right? Am I wrong? What are the alternatives to this knife, if there are any, or comparable things? So when they choose a knife, they would have a better idea. Thank you. Bye.